जय जय जय। बोले बोले। निरंजन।
Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dandvatitam Gagana Sadarsham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarehitam Sadgurum Tam Namam Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namah. So, we are back again for another Guru Purnima. We don't know how many years this will go on, but at the moment, on one hand, I am very happy that so many people have come for Guru Purnima, full moon of the Guru. On the other hand, I am also not so happy. Not because you have come. I am happy that you have come and that you are enjoying the festivities of bringing the Gurus in the palanquin and so on. So, what could be the secret of my unhappiness? Not because of my body. That is not a problem. I am not my body, so I am not the problem. There must be some reason why I must be slightly unhappy. Slightly. I won't say fully unhappy, but slightly. I know unhappiness is not a word to be used on Guru Purnima. Happiness, happiness, happiness. Okay. The unhappiness stems from the fact हिंदी में नहीं बोल सकता हूँ. बहुत लोग हैं जो हिंदी नहीं जानते हैं. यहाँ की भाषा तेलुगु है तो आप नहीं जानेंगे. मलयालम भी आपको पता नहीं चलेगा. तो English is a good link language to have. Okay. There is one interesting character who arrives without informing anybody, saying that nobody knows where he is coming or going. He comes and he plays multiple roles. On one hand, he is cavorting with the Gopikas in Vrindavan, and on the other hand, he is fighting, he is helping Arjuna to fight the Kurukshetra war. Planning everything meticulously, although pretending he doesn't know anything. You know the famous story of, consider what I am saying as the message for Guru Purnima, okay? Consider the story of Ashwatthama being brought in front of Krishna and Arjuna. Actually, Arjuna brings him. And the battle is over, the Kurukshetra war is over. Here is Ashwatthama, the son of the Guru, both the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Who is that? Dronacharya. He is an expert, he is the Guru of all. Even in some way Krishna accepts him as a guru in armaments and ballistic missiles, nuclear warfare and so on. And there is his son, Ashwatthama, who fought on the other side and did the unbelievable sin setting off the Brahmastra, which is more powerful than the Brahmos that is created in Tumba. And with the capacity to kill even this little children in the wombs of the Pandavas, women. Somehow Parikshit escapes, but that is a different story. And he is brought and laid before all the, including the matriarch Kunti and all the brothers, Pandavas and Krishna. As if he is not involved. He is standing like this. And he says, kill him. He deserves to be killed, Arjuna, by your hands. Arjuna knows the secrets of Krishna. Already in the Kurukshetra war, he discovered that this is not an ordinary person. He had a Vishwarupa Darshana. So he knows. And yet, when he says, finish him off, he has done unpardonable sins, Arjuna says, no. I cannot do it because he is my Guru's son. First is Brahmatya, killing son of a Brahmana. Second, this Dronacharya is my Guru. I cannot do it. Maybe he did everything, including trying to kill the baby in his wife's womb. There is no, that is the respect he has for the Guru. Even in spite of the Vishwarupa saying, finish him off. And why did Krishna say that? Finish him off. He is checking out on these guys. Has the message reached? Do they understand what I am teaching? Only Bhima is grumbling, everybody else. Then comes the great Kunti. She says, no, you cannot do it. Finally, they find the solution. They cut off his jata, which is a great punishment to do, and banish him from there. That's why people say Ashwatthama didn't die. Nobody knows when. Chiranjeevi. What I'm trying to say is that Krishna is here trying to figure out the true message that he gave. But only in one place is the Guru. Where? On the Kurukshetra battlefield, while teaching the Gita, that is the only time when he says Jagat Guru. According to me, there is only one Jagat Guru, which is Krishna in that road. There is no other. Sabkat Guru hai, koi hai nahi. So, he, in the Gita, while trying to instill the knowledge which he is trying to convey to Arjuna. Can you hear me at the back? Because, आपको नहीं सुनाई दे रहा. There is no speaker there, I think. Can you increase the volume there? Because then they'll miss everything. And next Guru Purnima, if I ask, what did I say? We didn't hear. Try. Now? My fault. not his. So, what happens is when I talk some very deep and intimate things, my voice goes down. That's my fault, not their fault. Okay? First, learn to understand that everything is our fault, nobody else's fault. Okay. So, there in the battlefield, Krishna, as the Jagat Guru, is teaching Arjuna not only to go to the battle, but to go to the battle with a different frame of mind. Not because of enmity or anything of the kind, because he's trying to save Dharma, not because of any other. In fact, the entire teaching begins with what in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali is called the Yama-Niyamas, of which first is non-violent. Read the Gita, read any chapter. For a specific instance, for a particular time, he is asking him to go to war. Because he also feels Arjuna is just getting nervous and unnerved and wants to run back. This is one thing. So what is the main teaching? So somewhere along the line, there is a chapter called Bhakti Yoga. You would have all heard, read. It's also my favorite chapter because I keep doing it whenever I go first time to any place. Trying to keep my voice high. In Bhakti Yoga, it started in a different way. Arjuna asking Krishna, what is the best way to worship the Supreme Being? Is he to be worshipped as that supreme, formless, almost ungraspable Brahman, the Supreme, as the rishis did? Or is it better to worship you as you are sitting before me in full form? Which is better? This is the subject. And very nicely, Krishna, instead of giving a direct answer, that is his forte, goes this way, that way, this way. And then he says to him, listen, that is also okay to worship the Supreme. Ultimately, whatever you worship, you are worshipping the Supreme Being, that absolute Brahman the rishis are talking about. There's no doubt about that. The great rishis attain moksha because they worship the Supreme Brahman. But we human beings who live by form and name, nama, rupa, it's so difficult for ordinary mortals to fix their attention on a Supreme Being whom the Upanishads declare, yan manasana manute, where even the mind cannot conceive of. How do we go there? It's better to go through something that you can tangibly hold on to. I think that is the reason why you're here, because you think there is somebody here tangibly to hold on to. But not true. This is also not tangible. Anyway, you think it is tangible, it's up to you. Thank you. So what did I say? So he says, it's better to hold on to me with my form and name because it's easier to go into this. And then we can think of the Brahmana when it comes, because every human being is attached to name and form. Even now, why would you come to Guru Purnima if there is no form and name sitting here and all this is going on? You wouldn't come. If there is a Parabrahman, all pervading, let's say Parabrahman, Isha, Vachyamidam, Sarvam, pervading, why are we going from somewhere to somewhere else? Why would we come here? Why? No need, right? If the Supreme Being, who is the real Guru? Brahmanandam, Paramasugadam, Kevalam, Jnanamurtim, Dvandvadidam, Gaganasadarsham, Tattvamashyadi Laksham, that is the true Guru. Why are we coming from Bihar, from Andhra, some US, some Hague and things like that? when the Supreme Being pervades everything here, because there is a name and form. Who you expect to do something, or talk something, or smile. And nowadays I don't look at anybody in the eye. Because if you look, then the smiling starts, then you know. So, this is why, so name and form are important. So Krishna advises Arjuna, this is how it is. You know how important name and form is. We are so worried about our own form, right? Can you catch somebody who's calling you by a wrong name in a crowd? You get so upset. I'm Narayana, why is he calling me Shiva? Name is important. Form, of course, form is important. What do we do first thing in the morning when we go to the wash basin to brush our teeth? How important is our own form? How long has the beard grown? For men. Women, I don't want to say. Takes a long time plucking and things. Yeah. We are so concerned with our own form. My dad used to take 15 minutes to shape his mustache like that. We are so concerned about our own form. And name, I won't be upset, but generally if somebody calls me Shri Z, what would happen? It's important. So Krishna advises Arjuna, go by this because you are still there where you cannot touch that Supreme Brahman, the Ekam, Nityam, Vimalam, Achalam and so on. Stay. Slowly you will rise up there. But you must understand the context. 12th chapter comes after 10 and 11. Now till 9th chapter, it's very interesting. It's like you and me sitting here and talking to each other. Hello, how are you? And when Krishna says something, Arjuna objects. He says, no, I can't do this, please. Can you tell something else? And so on. They're like friends. Of course, they're relatives. But I don't want to tell you this, but sometimes I won't tell the whole thing. Sadhu from a very remote village came to the United States, San Francisco. So a good friend of mine was translating for him. This friend was working in NASA. He was translating. So the question came. So Arjuna laid down his bow and said, I'm not going. So this Maharaj said to Krishna Bhagavan ने क्या कहा? उन्होंने कहा साले निकाह में. So now my friend was quite confused how to translate this into English. I said, very simple, say brother-in-law. Say idiot. I mean, okay. So we finally settled the matter. Swamiji didn't understand what the problem was. He said, why are you also dumbfounded? I mean, मैंने तो सच कहा, मैं तो झूठ कहा क्या कुछ? ठीक है. So good friends, relatives, and so on. It's going on like that. And then it comes to the 10th chapter. Suddenly, Krishna changes his record. Till now, he was instructing him, telling him what to do and so on. Suddenly, he says, among the immovable, I am the Himalaya. Arjuna is stunned. What is this man saying? He's just now sitting before me and talking like good friends. And then he says, among the mountains, I am the Meru. Among the Munis, I am Kapila. Among the Vedas, I am the Sama Veda. And so on. What is happening? So there, a small crack is seen in Arjuna's so-called proper logic. 1 plus 1 is 2. धीरे धीरे 2 और 2 5 बनने. Slowly, we begins to understand that this person sitting before me, I'm not understood really. Till now, I thought he's like you and me. We have put our hands around our shoulders, talked, laughed, joked. Here, he suddenly says, I am Meru, I am Kapila, I am the Samaveda, and so on. And then, in the 11th chapter, there is a sudden explosion. And Vishwarupa Darshana, see? Now, Vishwarupa Darshana, Arjuna is taken aback because the whole world seems to be revolving inside him, outside him, and the whole thing. So and complete idea has changed. What has happened here is Arjuna's so-called linear logic, like you go this way, turn right, like what you see in the Google Maps, it's all broken, completely gone. That's the time when Bhakti Yoga enters the picture. Because as long as we stick to that not concrete, that intellectual, rational blueprint, which we fondly think is made by our great intellect. We all like to think we are great intellects, right? Anybody here who says we are not a great intellect? All are great intellects. I have not seen one who is not. Also, a lot of information is put in the brain. See? Vedanta, Kabir Das. So we are all intelligent people. So we have a logical blueprint which we create based on the findings of our stupidly limited brain. Until that is broken, one cannot go beyond. And that's something which the Upanishad says even the mind cannot reach. That's where Bhakti Yoga comes. Chapter 12. And then, why I say this is Guru Purnima. I've been saying this for years. For years, people have been coming. They listen, they go back. Is there anything happening? Or are we just coming for the wonderful entertainment that is going on? I'm the main actor, of course. What is it? So, in the course of this dialogue in the Bhakti Yoga, Arjuna asked Krishna, okay, I agree, both two ways of looking at it, fine. Not that Krishna cares if he agrees or not, but tell me, who would you call your dearest bhakta, your dearest, the best man that you can think of? Who would you call? Who would you use the phrase, Yaha bhakta same priya, this bhakta is dear to me? Who would you say that? Krishna says beautifully, this is why I want to stress again in this Guru Purnima again. He says, quality number 1, Samniyam Indriyagram. Read the 12th chapter. One who has control over his senses. Senses meaning also senses produced emotions, anger, hatred. Doesn't apply to policemen, but no, I'm not talking about the senior level. Somebody in the police station I know sitting here who described me the treatment given to a guy who was put inside. It's terrible. All bad karmas will be finished and you should actually come out as a new person, but it doesn't happen. Anyway, So, one who has control over his senses, samniyam, indriya gramam, first step. So, after so many Guru Purnimas, sometimes please reflect if you have some control over your senses. It's not about eating vada chutney or anything, not that. I mean, serious control over your sense organs. And therefore, that is produced by the sense organs, like anger, hatred. There is a beautiful shloka with which many good things, auspicious things are begun. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. May the entire world be happy. So, one. So, control over the senses. Two, sarvatra samabuddhaya. At all times, under all circumstances, can the mind remain tranquil and not get agitated. Very important. You may do 1,000 japas for 1,000 years. This is not happening. There is no use. Sarvatra samabuddhaya. Under all circumstances, can the mind be tranquil? Can the mind be tranquil even if your personal guru scolds you sometimes and says, I don't want to see you? Look yourself at yourself. Am I able to control my mind? And the third, sarva bhuta hite rata. The welfare of all living beings in the heart. Krishna says that if these three qualities are there in a human being, no matter he's singing or not singing or whatever he is doing, I consider such a person to be yaha bhakta same priya. That bhakta is dear to me. So this is what I want to stress in this Guru Purnima. That we should change. And if we feel that we haven't changed, we should stop coming to Guru Purnimas. Seriously. What is the point? I keep saying every year, change, change. There is no change. So, in a way, it's sad. Because when there is a spiritual teacher, the job of the spiritual teacher, the function of a spiritual teacher is to take you on to spiritual well-being, ultimately to make you free and understand that you are not this little stupid entity that you think you are, or me, but something beyond, something which is ever blissful, something which doesn't require anything from the outside world to be happy, which is by itself intrinsically joyful. This is what we should find out. And this is what we have been trying to say for so many years. But I don't think it's working. It's very easy. If you ask me, do you have proof? I can print out all the emails I get throughout the year. Give me a child. Give me a boyfriend. Or if nothing works, you marry me. Yeah. I keep telling people I'm a married man. No. So these are or small requests, a promotion in the office. As if my job is that. Sit down, adjust your promotions. And you be. So I request you, therefore, to think it's all right. Come here, please. I'm not saying you shouldn't come. A joyous occasion, you'll enjoy. I think sometimes you enjoy when I'm attacking you in some way. and saying, this is what you are. Why? Do you know why I'm saying this? Not because I don't like you or have anything against you. No. I want you to look at yourself. A teacher's function is to show the mirror clean. Look and see how we are. How do we behave? Not with me. With me, you all behave very nicely. Every day, if I allow, I'll get laddus and everything. But to your friends, to you. Now, in fact, in the Gita, Krishna says in the chapter on Dhyana Yoga, 6th chapter, Abhyasa Yoga, he says, a yogi has no enemies or friends and no neutral. He neither hates an enemy nor truly loves. It's all the same. There is no such difference. The problem begins when one of you says, oh, I love you very much. Not in the other sense. That I had a problem once. When you go to Google, you usually I usually write love and blessings, right? One day I forgot to do it because Google always says love and kisses. So, by some mistake, once I sent it to somebody, I got a lot of red colored hearts. Went back to the emails and found, oh, I said, sorry, mistake, love and blessing. I'm not talking about that. It's good to have hearts, that's all fine. But please be serious about one's own life. Okay? Try to change. Try to bring about. Look, okay, let's say that suppose a spiritual teacher has touched, suppose, the divinity. Hypothetically. Touch that which is all pervading, supreme, and so on. Okay. Perhaps he may have some certain capacities, and people ask for blessings. It may work. All right. But will it stop death? We all have to go. Yeah, all we can do perhaps is ease somebody out happily in death. I mean, beyond that, we can't do it. We can't stop somebody. So, what are you asking for? When you really want to ask it genuinely, out of love, I'm saying out of love, not the heart one. Ask for that which is permanent, which will not go, which will be forever with you. When found, when death approaches, you smile and say, okay, here I come. Instead of saying, oh my God, what will I do? Where are all the things that are dear to me? How am I going to leave this and go? So, I'm not saying that you should not have a affectionate relationship, but it should not change into something which is very narrow and sensual. You know what I mean? It should be wide open. And when one is told to correct oneself, then one should take it in the right spirit and correct oneself. Not feel bad about it. So this is Guru Purnima's message. What is that? I'm not saying don't come. Please do come. Sometimes I like to see your smiling faces. You seem to be very happy. That's nice. But consider the teachings. 1. Have some control over your senses. 2. Sarvatra samabuddha. Under no circumstances should you not be tranquil. Because nothing is happening. What will happen? Finally, nothing. Every one of us, after some years, are we going to be here? Think about it. No. So what is that? That's the maximum that can happen. Be peaceful. And third, look for the welfare of other living beings. Always. Do not forget that. Having said that, do your daily practices, your doing meditation, your chanting, everything is fine. But what would lead one towards closest to the Supreme are these qualities. I am not saying this. It comes from Krishna Paramatma. Whenever we start a chapter of the Gita, we always say Sri Paramatmane Namaha. It comes from Krishna Paramatma. That these are the qualities which you need to develop, not other things. And then one more before I... there is this tendency always to have some kind of one-to-ones with me. Now, how many people are here? Imagine one-to-ones. It will reach next to Guru Purnima. Now, what one should understand is that if you really have something serious that you have to tell me, I know. There is no point in holding on. And now I've stopped even appreciating anything if anybody has. If I tell a lady, that's a nice kurta, I get 100 photos in different kurtas. Yeah. Oh, even men. So, these are some pointers. While the relationship is spiritual and personal, it's not physically personal. It's not mind personal. For me, I see in every one of you only the spark of the divine. And since you are the spark of the divine, I worship everybody. But it's not personal. You understand what I'm trying? I hope. And if I behave in a certain way, it may be done for your good. Sometimes some people think, oh, he's so friendly, but suddenly he's cut us off. Because I find that it becomes a personal affair and not a spiritual affair. This is why. So, because suppose there is a couple. There are many couples here. I'm not talking about anything in particular. I love the person who is close to me, who may be female. But I also love the man who is sitting at home and wondering where is he run away. You understand? So, understand that Guru Purnima's message, I'm going to now give you an outline, like everything has to be summed up, right? Conclusion. 1. Develop the 3 qualities mentioned by Krishna. 2. When you come for Guru Purnima, think of the movement you have to make toward the spiritual. Enjoy yourself, of course, but spiritual is very important. And 3, do not form conclusions based on my behavior. In fact, in the course of spiritual evolution, sometimes I might be neglecting somebody totally because they will move forward. On the other hand, I might really show great affection to somebody who needs it, who is in trouble. So if you see me showing great affection to a murderer, don't misunderstand. You don't go and do that too. You will be murdered in your bed. So I'm saying this out of great feeling and affection that your minds will, all of you sitting here, there is one treasure that you have in your heart. That is the Supreme Being. You're doing the Tripura Rahasya in London. Thing that is repeated again, that Tripura Sundari who sits in the lotus of your heart always. Or you can say that Brahman, Supreme, who sits in your heart always. So you're all divine. Not a single person here, sitting here or outside, who is not here, is not divine. Please keep this in mind. Everybody is divine. Different levels of manifestation. That's all. There's nobody who is low down. How can anybody be low down when in the heart sits the Supreme Being? Tell me. So, even if I do my thoughts or my deeds or my words, if they sound hurtful to you at some point, please don't curse me because I'll also get affected. You all have the Supreme Being in your hearts. Of course, I'll have my kavach. That is different. So, that's about all I wanted to say. Now, if you don't mind, we'll chant Om together 3 times before I get my jet lag and then meditate for a while. And if I sleep, wake me up. Then we will scatter. Okay? So we're going to chant Om all together with me. There is nothing, no word and no sound which has that much effect on the heart of all living beings, including this big living being behind us, this people tree. It's a living being. Please remember. Shall we? Meditate silently for a while. Om Tat Sat. Om Shanti Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukhavat bhavet. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.